Kurunji Senior Secondary School, CBSE, Namakkal.
Successful result producing school in state every year.
Administered by the Board of Directors with over 35 years of experience in the teaching field.
Special attention on art, craft, music, dance, silambam, yoga, skating and karate.
Focus on Hindi Sabha and Spell Bee Olympiad exams.
Smart class for effective and innovative learning and well-furnished library.
Solitary importance on sports and games in state and national level.
WhatsApp facilities to know activities of students and school inside the campus.
Free bus for LKG to 8th standard.
Free, hygienic and nutritious food.
NEET, JEE, IIT coaching experts from Rajasthan and Andhra Pradesh along with our effective teachers.
Admission registration for classes LKG to +2.
Kurunji Educational Institution, Kavetipatti, Namakkal. Admission in progress. CBSE, KG to 12, contact 9025895176. Metric 6 to 12, contact 9344567484. For online admission, log on to www.kurunjischoolnkl.in.
In today's class, we are going to discuss free fall motion. In yesterday's class, we discussed kinematic equations. So, derivation of kinematic equations, calculus method. In day before yesterday class also we discussed derivation of kinematic equations, linear method, including a graph. Okay, right. So now our concentration is about free fall motion. Free fall motion. So my sincere request is try to understand what is free fall motion first. For example, by standing on surface of earth, if you drop a stone from your hand, as usually what will happen? That particular stone will try to reach the surface of earth. So this everybody can experience. So we also experienced many times. I will repeat once again. You just take a small stone into your hand and you stand in one particular place. You just drop the stone from that particular point of from your hand, that's it. Then what will happen? The stone will reach the ground. So why the stone is not going up? Suppose if you want to throw the stone, you can. But here I am talking about freely dropping. So you are going to drop the stone. You are not going to throw up. If you are throwing up, that situation will be different. But now our discussion is restricted to the freely dropping of a stone from your hand. So when you are going to drop the stone from your hand freely, then I can say that the motion of the stone is free fall motion. Free fall motion. The stone is going to fall freely from your hand to the surface of earth. To the surface of earth. So from starting of this class, within the span of 1 or 2 minutes, I explained you what is free fall motion. What is free fall motion? I will repeat once again. Dropping of a stone from certain height on surface of earth. Dropping of a stone at certain height from surface of earth will reach the surface of earth after certain time. In this time interval, the motion of the stone is said to be free fall motion. Free fall motion. You didn't give any velocity. We are not giving any velocity to the stone. Simply we dropped. So when you dropped simply the initial velocity of the stone is 0. But because of pulling nature of earth, that is gravitation, because of the gravitational property of earth, the stone will tries to reach the surface of earth, that is downward direction, vertically downward direction. At the same time, if you observe carefully, while dropping the stone, the velocity is 0, which is called as initial velocity. You can see this line also. So here you dropped the stone means it will comes like this slowly and finally it will reach the earth. Okay. So, initial velocity is 0, but as time passes, its velocity is going to increase continuously because of gravitational force by the earth, because of gravitational force applied by the earth. So, when the stone is going to reach the surface of earth, so there it has maximum velocity. After this point, it will reach the surface of earth. Once it will reach the surface of earth, its motion will be stopped instantaneously. Okay. So, this is all about free fall motion. Now, I explained you what is meant by free fall motion with one example, that is dropping of a stone from certain height to the surface of earth. So, when a body is in free fall motion, the initial velocity is 0 because you are dropping freely, but final velocity is not 0. Meanwhile, in this process, while going from dropping point to the surface of earth, it acquires certain amount of velocity because of gravitational force, because of continuously acting gravitational force. Meanwhile, it covered certain displacement also. To move from here to there, it is the dropping point. This is the point where it touches the ground, just before touches the ground. So, the time taken by a freely falling body from dropping point to the point just before going to touch the ground is called as time of descent. Okay, right. So, this is all about free fall motion, including the best example, dropping of a stone from certain height from surface of earth. Okay, right. Now, you look at this point. An object released near the surface of earth is accelerated downward under the influence of the force of gravity. I will repeat once again. An object released near the surface of earth is accelerated downward under the influence of the force of gravity. Next, go for second point. The magnitude of acceleration due to gravity is represented by small g. Okay, it is the notation. Next, if air resistance is neglected, the object is said to be in free fall. So, here this point is very important. It is the assumption. It is very important because when we talked about free fall of any object, not only a stone, a ball, right, a small piece of brick, whatever it may be. So, when we are talking about free fall motion, especially in this class, we are going to discuss about many things. So, while discussing all these things in our subject regarding free fall motion, one of the important assumption is we neglect air resistance. So, when a body is falling freely, it has to travel among the air molecules now. So, air has certain amount of density, but it is very small when compared to rest of the things. Anyhow, the air molecules tries to stop the motion of this body when it is falling freely. So, that friction, that resistance offered by the air molecules, we neglected in our discussion. So, we are not considering that frictional force offered by the air molecules, which is simply called as air resistance. Okay, right. So, this is the important assumption. Next, if the height through which the object falls is small compared to the earth's radius, if the height through which the object falls is small compared to the earth's radius, g can be taken to be constant equal to 9.8 meter per second square. Okay. For example, what is the height of the person? For example, suppose if it is somewhat height means it is generally 180 centimeters or 160 centimeters like that. Okay, right. So he is 180 centimeters means he can drop from 170 centimeters. So if he stretch his hand means it is like 170 centimeters almost. So 170 centimeters means 1.7 meter. So the height at which the body is dropped is 1.7 meter. What is the radius of the earth? It is 6,400 kilometers. 6,400 kilometers. So when compared to 6,400 kilometers, 1.7 meters is almost very small now. So in this situation, so here he mentioned clearly, try to understand this point. The height through which the object falls is small. Generally it is small only, 1.7 meters means almost very small when compared to 6,400 kilometers. So there not only 1.7 meters, you can take 10 meters, 20 meters, 100 meters also. So this 100 meters also if you have taken, it is also very small when compared to 6,400 kilometers, right. So in that situation, you can take G value as 9.8 meter per second square, 9.8 meter per second square, okay, right. Next point. Free fall is thus a case of motion with uniform acceleration, So here, if the height through which object falls is small compared to the earth's radius, G can be taken to be constant now. So here also he is saying the same thing, uniform acceleration. Free fall is this case of a motion with uniform acceleration. I will tell you, I will explain very clear how it is uniform acceleration, okay. But already we discussed in that previous class, before that class. In previous class I explained you what is non-uniform acceleration. Before that class I explained what is uniform acceleration. I will repeat once again. When a body covers equal amount of changes in velocity in equal intervals of time, however the small intervals may be, then it is said to be moving with uniform acceleration. I will repeat once again. If a body covers equal amount of changes in velocity in equal intervals of time, however the small intervals may be, then it is said to be moving with uniform acceleration. So here the free fall motion of a body is the example of moving with uniform acceleration. Right. Next, see here, we assume that the motion is in negative y direction. Okay, you know very well. Suppose if it is the hand of a person, so from there he dropped a stone, then what will happen? It comes like this now. So generally in our coordinate system, in our Cartesian coordinate system, this is what negative y axis now. So from here to top it is positive y axis, it is positive x axis, it is negative x axis, it is negative y axis. So that only he is saying here. We assume that the motion is in negative y direction because we choose upward direction as positive. So this is upward direction, this is as positive. Since the acceleration due to gravity is always downward, it is the negative direction and we have, right. So acceleration due to gravity is always downward now. So downward means what? Negative y direction or negative direction simply. Then A is equal to minus G is equal to minus 9.8 meter per second square. A is equal to minus G, that is equal to minus 9.8 meter per second square, right. Here itself I want to say one small thing, but it is important. Try to remember. See here. So when a body is dropped from certain height, as time passes, okay, its velocity is going to increase because of continuously acting gravitational force. by the earth because of continuously acting gravitational force by the earth, its velocity is going to increase. At this point, this is the point just before touching the ground. At this point, it has maximum velocity. At this point, it has maximum velocity. You can calculate the maximum velocity at this point also. Otherwise, you can calculate velocity of this freely falling body at any point of time by using first equation of motion, that is v is equal to u plus at. Otherwise, v is equal to v naught plus at. v is equal to v naught plus at. Okay, that is the first equation of motion, first kinematic equation. By using that equation, you can calculate the final velocity or velocity of a freely falling body at any instant of time. Right, see here. The object released from rest, the object released from rest at y is equal to 0. Suppose he is taking this point as, right, he is taking this point as a reference point, the starting point, right. So that here y is equal to 0. So, the displacement is 0 now. As time passes, it is going to increase the displacement, but at the initial point displacement is 0. At the same time, I already told you, initial velocity is also 0 for freely falling body. Initial velocity is also 0 for freely falling body. So, when the object is released from rest, at this point, see the light, at this point displacement is 0. At the same point, initial velocity is also 0. But after certain time, slowly the body is coming like this to reach the end point. This is the point before touching the ground. So, when the body is going to reach this point, the displacement increased, but initial velocity is same. Initial velocity means the velocity possessed by a body at its initial position. It will not change. It is same, right? But final velocity will be changed. Final velocity as a function of time here in case of freely falling body. Okay, right. Next, see here, the equations of freely falling body, the equations of free fall motion. You can say that equations of free fall motion. Otherwise, kinematic equations of freely falling body. Kinematic equations of freely falling body, right? You know very well, yesterday we discussed, we derived 3 equations of motion, and day before yesterday also we derived 3 equations of motion, right? So, the 3 equations of motion you know, So, in those 3 equations of motion, you just substitute the initial velocity value. So, what is the initial velocity here? 0 no. So, that only I have written here, that is what v is equal to v naught plus at. So, this is what here 0, v naught is equal to 0, a is equal to minus g, a is equal to minus g, right, that is. Next, into t, that is equal to minus 9.8 into t meter per second. So, the equations of motion, so the equations of free fall motion are v is equal to 0 minus g into t. So, here what initial velocity is 0 no. So, v naught is equal to 0. So, you see the yesterday equations of motion. So, yesterday we discussed the equations of motion for translatory, equations of translatory motion, but these are the equations of free fall motion. The only difference is for free fall motion, initial velocity is 0 and a is equal to minus g, a is equal to minus g, see here, that is what, okay. So, 0 minus g into t, that is equal to minus 9.8 into t. So, here it is meter per second, meter per second. Next, y is equal to 0 minus 1 by 2 gt square. So, g is 9.8 now. So, that it is minus 4.9 t square, minus 4.9 t square meter, because it is displacement now. So, meter. Next, v square is equal to 0 minus 2 g y, that is minus 19.6 y, because already y is here, it is 9.8 into 2, that is 19.6 meter square per second square, because velocity is meter per second now. So, meter per second whole square is there, that is the reason meter square per second square, meter square per second square, right. So, these are the equations of free fall motion, otherwise equations of freely falling body, equations of freely falling body, right. So, if you substitute g value, we are getting all these things. So, this is the value of v, this is the value of displacement as a function of time, this is velocity as a function of displacement, it is velocity as a function of time. So, you please be careful regarding these three equations of motion. So, these three equations of motion helps us while solving the problems, okay, right. Here the next topic, next thing is graphs. So, this is very important for us, ma. So, here we are going to see acceleration time graph, velocity time graph, here distance with time also, distance with time also. So, these three graphs related to freely falling body. So, this is 1, 2, 3. So, these three graphs indicating the free fall motion, but quantity is only going to change. Here it is acceleration versus time, it is velocity versus time, it is distance versus time, okay, right. So, it is the acceleration time graph. Try to understand the graph. See here, if you observe carefully the free fall motion, in case of free fall motion, here the initial velocity is 0, but if you come at certain instant of time, their velocity, how can we find? By using first equation of motion, this is the formula, that is what v is equal to minus 9.8 into t. For example, after 1 second, what is the velocity, right? So, the velocity will be minus 9.8 meter per second, because t is equal to 1. After 2 seconds, what is the velocity? Minus 19.6 meter per second. After 3 seconds, what is the velocity? Minus 9.8 into 3 meter per second. So, like that you can find velocity. But you already know very well, acceleration is the change in velocity by time, change in velocity by time. So, that what will happen? So, change in velocity we have to observe. Time interval is 1 second, 1 second, 1 second, 1 second, like that. So, change in velocity is constant, change in velocity is constant. Observe carefully, here the velocity is 0, here the velocity is 9.8, okay, including the sign minus 9.8, here the velocity is 19.6. So, 9.8 minus 0 is equal to 9.8, 19.6 minus 9.8 is also equal to 9.8, and it continues like that. So, change in velocity is constant. When change in velocity is constant and time interval is equal, then automatically acceleration is constant. Then the body is said to be moving with uniform acceleration. Then if you draw the graph for acceleration versus time, variation of acceleration with time, then you can get like this curve. It is what? See here. So, it is 5, it is 10. So, it is 9.8. It is 9.8, and moreover it is minus 9.8, negative y axis. So, just observe here, it is. So, it is constant. So, it is the line which is parallel to the x axis. So, then what does it mean? Acceleration is not changing with the time, which is constant, which is constant, okay, right. Next, going for velocity with time, velocity with time, okay, right. So, generally how can we find velocity? This is the formula, right. It is what? 9.8 t meter per second, okay, right. So, already we did the same thing. I will tell you, here the velocity is 0, no, right. After 1 second, what is the velocity? Minus 9.8 meter per second. After 2 seconds, what is the velocity? Minus 19.6 meter per second. So, at 0 seconds, the velocity is 0. See here. In 1 second time interval, after 1 second, the velocity is minus 9.8 meter per second. So, it will be maybe here. It is minus 9.8. After 2 seconds, the velocity is minus 19.6. It is here. After 3 seconds, it will be here. Like that, it goes on. The graph will be, this is the shape of the graph, right? Which is a straight line passing through horizon. So, this is the time, it is the velocity. This graph indicates that variation of velocity with time. Variation of velocity with time. Okay. So, this is the velocity time graph for a freely falling body. For a freely falling body, right. Next, come to this graph. It is what variation of distance with time. So, what is the formula for distance? This is the formula, right. So, here it is 0. After 1 second, you substitute here 1. What is that? Okay, it is what is the? It is here t is there. No, here we have to substitute 1. So, minus 4.9 meters. Regarding magnitude, 4.9 meters is the distance within 1 second time interval. Next, 4.9 into 4. Next, after 3 seconds, 4.9 into 9, right. So, here you can see clearly, so first second, right, second. The formula will be this is, that is y is equal to minus 1 by 2 gt square. This is the formula to calculate distance. Okay. So, after 1 second, here in place of t have to write 1, then it is minus g by 2. See here, see the light clearly. Next, after 2 seconds, here you have to write 2, it will be 4 because square is there. So, minus 4g by 2. After 3 seconds or within the 3 seconds, that is 3 square 9 minus 9g by 2. Next, minus 16g by 2. Next, minus 25g by 2, minus 36g by 2, right. Here you can find the ratio of the distance travelled. See here, ratio of the distance travelled. So, it is minus g by 2, minus 4g by 2, minus 9g by 2, minus 16g by 2, minus 25g by 2, minus 36g by 2. So, if you find the ratio, then you will get like this. Okay. But ratio means what? Ratio of distance travelled in particular interval of time. For example, in first second it is minus g by 2. To find the distance travelled in second, then you have to subtract this one from this. If you want to find the distance travelled in third second is different from 3 seconds. 3 seconds indicates that total time there 3 seconds are available. Third second indicates that only 1 second, that is third second. So, you have to subtract this one from here to calculate the distance travelled in first second. You have to subtract this one from this to calculate the distance travelled in second and so on. Okay, that is. So, this is the distance travelled in first second. To subtract this one from this will give us distance travelled in second. If you subtract this one from this, you will get the distance travelled in third second. Similarly, distance travelled in fourth second, distance travelled in fifth second, distance travelled in sixth second, like that. After calculating all those things, if you get the ratio, you will get like this 1:3:5:7:9:11. So, which is called as Galileo's law of odd numbers. Galileo's law of odd numbers. So, the same information what I explained you here, you can get from the table. See here. So, time y, distance in terms of y naught, distance travelled in successive intervals, ratio of distance travels, see here. So, 0, tau, 2 tau, 3 tau, 4 tau, 5 tau, 6 tau, like. So, tau is the time interval, So, 0 means distance is also 0 after 1 second. So, after tau seconds, it is minus 1 by 2 g tau square. After 2 tau, so from here it is 2, from here it is 1. Next 3 tau, from here it is 3 tau, from here it is only 1 tau. Next 4 tau, so from here it is 4 tau, but from here it is only 1. So, like that it goes on. Formula is this one, right. So, first it is minus g into tau square, next minus 4 into 1 minus 1 by 2 gt square. So, this you can write it as, right, as the initial displacement or initial distance. So, it is y naught, then it is minus 4 y naught, next it is minus 9 y naught, next minus 16 y naught, like that. So, if you took only magnitude, it will be like this. right, because it is what minus 1 by 2 g tau square, it will be y naught. Okay. Then if you consider the magnitude, because distance is a scalar quantity, then if you get the ratio of all these things, you will get 1:3:5:7:9:11. Okay, right. So in today class we discussed what is free fall motion. Next, what are the equations of free fall motion? Next, three graphs: acceleration versus time, velocity versus time, and distance versus time we discussed. Next, we also discussed what are Galileo's law of odd numbers. Actually, those are 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. So, these are the ratio of distance travelled in successive intervals of time. Okay.